And we are live.
Hey fisherman, Aqua Duelist here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pondcast, episode number 69.
This is this is not just not only like the last podcast of the year, but it's also like our last video for the year. Um, so I just thought that was kind of cool. Like I was thinking about how do I, what's the thinking like what's the last video I want to do for this year, and I was talking with the other here, and I was like, hey, let's do a podcast. Let's have some fun with this, because quite frankly, I feel like I enjoy making these more than a lot of stuff lately. So
Yeah, the podcasts are a lot, I'm not gonna lie, they're a lot easier to edit. You can't
I mean,
exactly make high quality edits of Dwayne The Rock Johnson explaining that the Aqua Duelist is a monkey shit sack for a deck.
well, I mean, if you want me to be honest, I feel like these are very laid back, and I like it.
Yeah, life's annoying as shit. Why won't, this is easiest for both of us.
I mean, not even gonna lie, there are times where like I'm shooting deck profiles and I do so many freaking takes because I screw something small up. I basically try to do those in all like one big shot. So like if I'm like 10 minutes in, screw something small up, no, I redo the whole freaking thing till I get it perfect. I mean, it's probably not the smartest way to go about it, but
Do it
I
right or
want
don't
my
do it at all.
huh?
So do it right or don't do it at all.
Exactly. Like if I'm basically doing like a deck profile or something like that, like I want to do it right and I want it to be good. But back to what we said earlier, guys. 2023 is almost over, and oh man, 2024 for Yu-Gi-Oh is going to be looking pretty freaking interesting. I mean, what was it? How many days ago did we get that ban list? Like
I actually don't
maybe
know.
like I think it was like at this point like 3 or 4 days ago. No,
Yeah,
it was like 4.
it was maybe in the last week or so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know.
I I feel like it was like the day like either before Christmas or after Christmas is when the ban list hit, and I can't remember what day.
It was updated on December 19th.
Was it really the 19th?
Yeah, we're just old.
Holy shit! Like dang, it's that far gone, or it's been that long already.
Yeah, it was
Oh
crazy. They banned
goodness.
Upstart Goblin, they banned Bright Starter, Pot of Desires, Mind Control. All those cards are banned. Infernity Archfiend's banned. Gozen Match is banned. Dino Wrestler Pancratops is banned. Terratop's banned. Pearly Sleepy Memory is at 4 for some reason. Snatch Steal is at 3. Terraforming is banned. Goes Match, double banned.
Jeez, man, that's like not even the ban list at all. So on a serious note, I feel like that's probably the biggest ban list we've gotten in like actual years.
Yeah, let's see. I'm
Like,
checking the original ban list that we had before that, and there were one, two, three,
I
four.
mean, dude, they literally changed 25 cards.
Yeah, and the previous ban list they had 5 cards changed.
I mean, then there was I think the I think the one before that was maybe like not too much bigger. I think the one before that was maybe like 8 or 9 cards. Like usually it's around like five, like 5 or 6 cards on average. Sometimes you might get maybe around 10 or so,
The
but
one from June was 26 cards, but there was a lot of cards just coming off the ban list in general.
yeah, I forgot about that. There's the one ban list. You remember when COVID was at its peak and they made a ban list? Excuse me. And all they did was unpeel 3 cards.
There's nothing they really could have done.
I'm just saying, like, that whole thing was a joke, but like a lot of stuff went crazy on this ban list though. Every deck that was seeing results except for Vanquished Souls basically got hit. Like the meta decks got hit. The top what basically was like the higher, I feel like the higher end rogue, if they weren't considered meta, got hit. Like stuff that was just consistently putting results out there was getting hit. And I was like, holy shit. I was just so surprised to see so many different decks in one ban list just absolutely get, fucked over.
I wholly encourage banning as many cards as conceivably possible. I think that is amazing, and I wholly encourage it. I want that list to be 800 cards long by the time I get back into this game. That list needs to be fucking massive. We need to do this the old-fashioned way, where we just suck it up and let every card be banned, and then go at it like men by summoning normal monsters and passing.
I miss those days. I miss the days of early Yu-Gi-Oh where normal summon, seven colored fish, and set two was like the biggest play ever.
No, I missed Yu-Gi-Oh! Around Duelist Saga. Where like Pendulums just first started and Shadows and Burning Abyss came out.
What was it? No, it was
No, it's Duelist
I
Alliance.
was Duelist, not Saga.
Alliance.
Duelist Saga, Duelist Saga was the side set.
Yeah, Duelist Saga was side set with the funny ultra rares. So this was Duelist Alliance.
Yeah, that's what it was, Alliance.
That's what I.
I'm not gonna lie, I still love the ultras from the ultra rare technology from Duelist Saga. Like they really should have kept going with that for like some side sets or something, but they never did.
It was one of those things where they like no one liked it, and then randomly everybody's like, "Wait a minute, this is awesome!" And then by the time they liked it, it was gone.
I mean, I literally liked that rarity at like when it came out, and like I remember like Marcus, he loved it. A lot of the people from CF at the time really fucking liked that rarity. Um, so I just kind of thought it was weird that they just never went back to it. But it wasn't until way later I found out that people just apparently hated it. But I'm not gonna lie. Um, I think my favorite thing about this ban list we got was what you call it, Snatch Steal going to one.
Remember, like Snatch Shield went to one once many years ago, and it didn't go very well. And I'm ready to see how this shit goes now.
Oh, I mean, we're at a point where freaking call, or I want to say call on for some reason. Change of heart is at one, and that doesn't see a lot of play.
Now here's the kicker, though: is Snatch Shield a bit different
Oh, I
because
know.
you can search Snatch Steal. There are
Oh
cards that
yeah.
interact with it. You can. I forget exactly. Infernobles, that what they're called?
No, there's a. I was gonna say it's like Armory Arm. Um.
We have like Infernobles basically interact with equipped spells. This thing is a deck to play with now.
Oh shit. Well. Oh wait. No. I was gonna say. What you call it? I can't think of the link to Izol. Izol got banned. So
Oh right, that's probably why.
yeah. But to be fair, people have been fucking doing his old bullshit for quite some time. So
Exalt is one of those cards where like literally it is always going to be good. It's just depending on which deck wants to give you a bad day.
exactly, like it was bound to get hit at some point. I mean, look at freaking was it oh not chaos summon sorceress.
Yeah, Summon Source was
The
just unnecessary.
huh?
That was just unnecessary. The amount of shit they were doing with that, like
Oh yeah. Like I'm just saying, it was one of those cards that eventually was gonna get banned.
the amount of one card extra links in this fucking game are like at the time were unnecessary.
Yep. And now extra linking is pointless.
I mean, not technically, they can't link summon, you know.
I
So
mean,
if you're playing against like At Ignister, you block them out.
Okay, let's be real here. Out of like the 5 or 6 decks that only play Link monsters, who the fuck actually cares about extra linking at this point? I mean, you got what? Adignisters, World Chat. When was the last time anyone played fucking World Chalice, honestly?
I don't even know how to play World Chalice, and I don't think anybody else does either.
I mean, I remember World Chalice. Like, I remember that deck.
Just keep
And,
linking. Just keep
you
linking.
know, I mean, we just got the synchro back, but, it's just like, when was the last time that deck, like, that deck has not seen any.
They were good when they actually had cards to play with, but
I
every
mean,
good card to play with was bannable, so they're all banned.
well, no, what I'm saying is, what I was gonna say is like that deck hasn't seen play since like what, or seen top cut since like what 20, was it 2017 when Lynx came out, or was
20.
it 2018?
One of the. I don't even fucking remember.
I think well, because I think 2017 was like the year Zodiacs came out and shit, and then we got the oh, that shit needs to be banned type of 2 weeks after the Megaton, or like literally the weekend after the Megaton. So yeah, like I think it was like the year they came out, or World Chalice came out. I think it was like maybe for like about midway through the year after or something. I feel like it's when the last time I saw a play. So like 2018, 2019 or something like that. I'm like, damn, it's been a hot minute. I think it's kind of crazy. But I'm like, those are like the two things I'm thinking of. And then I remember like Goki Extra Link was a thing. Um,
Oh yeah, Goki could still do that. I forgot.
well, I mean, I don't. I mean, can they? Since what you call the night two of the nightmare cards are banned. Was it Goblin and Mermaid?
Yeah, they probably could still do it with modern support. I doubt after a Soul Day. I don't really remember. Like, I played the deck, but I don't. I only played it with a Soul Day. But they have
I
combos that
mean,
make some pretty nasty boards. I just don't know.
yeah.
I haven't played any new cards long enough to know how long it would take to play them, though.
I mean, I didn't play Goki. I was like prepared for Goki. Like I was over here, like, oh yeah, Goki. Like, oh yeah, go ahead, extra link me, motherfucker. I'm gonna spear mode your ass. That's gonna come back to my turn, and then I'm gonna fucking drop the wing dragon from my deck.
I
Like
just normal summon
I
Cyber
was,
Dragon.
huh?
I just normal summon Cyber Dragon.
I'm just saying, like I was fucking ready.
What you
Like,
do
oh
is you
yeah, and
normal
then like,
summons. Go ahead.
dude, I remember like my side deck at that point was like, what was it? It was to break the extra link. It was three spear mode, one wing dragon, three cyber dragon, three toon cyber dragon, three toon table of contents. We didn't have. I don't think we had the emergency card. The one card that searched we got that searched cyber dragon. I forget what's called. Like emergency. I think it's like emergency something. But I don't think we. I can't remember if we had that at the time. Like, but literally, like
River
my
Repair
side
Plant.
deck was literally at the time like just meant to break extra link because
I
it was just so common.
um. I remember White Kevin would talk about how good Goki is, and he's like, it's like almost impossible to break. And I said, normal summon Cyber Dragon. He's like, how? Like, you could just summon Cyber Dragon and siphon off the extra links for the Cyber Dragon fusion
Yeah,
and just punch him in the face.
but
Wasn't foolproof, but worked.
yeah, but yeah, like the ban list. I like the ban list was absolutely crazy. So like going into 2024 because it goes in effect January 1st. Um, I'm honestly really curious to see what happens to the actual meta for the game because like literally everything got fucking hit. except Vanquish Souls.
It's very strange. I think Yugioh is at a point where they're openly encouraging playing on your opponent's turn. And in
Yeah,
exchange, their boards aren't as massive, if that makes sense.
yeah,
So, like, if you look at, like, Kashtira, even Branded to an extent, it was, like, I haven't played in a little bit, so I'm a little rusty here, guys. But, like, I remember Kashtira, Branded, Tier Limit, all of them didn't make, like, big, flashy boards. They were deceptively good, if that makes sense.
yeah. Well, I was on this when I went to my locals this last Wednesday. Which before this, I haven't gone to locals for like 2 or 3 weeks. Um, just because like I've had so many things going on happening. But I honestly forgot about the Fire King structure deck, and my locals was basically mostly Vanquish Souls and Fire Kings. And I'm just like sitting here, like, okay, crap, how do I play against Fire King? Thinking like round two, because round one I didn't get paired up against Fire Kings. Round two I did, and game one, this motherfucker's playing on my turn. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how do I? I'm like, how the fuck? How do I play against this deck? Because it's just like I just forgot this was a thing. I mean, I didn't really care also because I'm the Aqua Duelist.
You hear the
The
name
only
Fire
fighting
King and you
deck.
don't expect anything. Little did he know he came for violence.
I mean, gonna be honest, the only fire deck I pay any attention to really is freaking Sue ships, and like I haven't even done a deck profile of that on the channel.
It's because they're Aquas.
I mean, I'm just yeah. I mean, yeah, they are aquas. I mean, the concept of the deck is really cool. On top of that, but it's like yeah, that's like the only fire deck like I legitimately paid attention to, and I think the only other fire deck I would pay attention to if they really like full on did this is if they actually gave Flame Swordsman a legitimate archetype here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know we got Flame Swordsman, we got Blue Flame Swordsman, but like if they actually did, and I know we're getting. Oh, I'm sorry. Then there's the Link too, but I'm pretty sure in the new Maze set that we're getting a new card or so or a few for Flame Swordsman. I can't remember how many we're getting, but like if they legitimately made like Flame Swordsman like a viable like archetype um to the point where it's like I could take this to the locals and like not get like first place, but possibly making it a top cut. Like I would actually be interested in that. But but yeah, like this dude, like round two, game one, I'm going first, and this guy's just playing on my turn. I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, what do I do? So like the rest of the night, all I basically got paired up against was yeah, all I got paired up against was Fire Kings, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like trying to figure out, okay, what the hell do I hit? Because I haven't paid any attention to this shit. Like I'm one of those people where it's like, I could be looking this shit up, but I'm also like, in between rounds, as I'm waiting for, my games to finish, I don't want to like look up, hey, how the fuck do I beat how do I beat, this deck? Because I feel like that's basically cheating. Like that'd be something I do after the tournament and look up, but it's just kind of like I want to figure this shit out on my own. Because that's how I am, and I literally just played against Fire Kings literally the rest of the night, and that was not a fun time. Like I
Yeah,
was not prepared. I was not prepared to basically only play Fire
I've
Kings.
only really
And
done
when I
it
was,
once, but I have gone to the bathroom and looked up how a deck played.
I mean, was it during a tournament?
Yeah.
Well,
I had just started
there,
Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like getting curb stomped. So I sat down, a guy said the name of a deck that I'd never heard of. So While I was in the mid, I heard him playing. I knew he was next because I only had so many people, so I got up, went to the bathroom, and sat there and looked up how to play against the deck for 10 minutes and came back.
Did you win?
No.
Exactly.
Well, I would have won, but there was this lovely little feature that Yu-Gi-Oh has called bricking.
It happens.
Happens to the best of us. Every man bricks once in a while.
Um, but on top of this new ban list we got, looking at the product releases we got coming out, I don't know. I want to be excited for like the band. I want to be excited for 2024. Um, just because we got we got we got a really good band list, but when I'm looking at what's coming out, um, I feel like the first couple months of 2024 is not going to be that. Is not There's not going to be much fire, and I'm not saying like I know we're getting a bunch of fire support, but I'm like I'm not really that interested. Like I know the new May set we're getting from what everybody told from what's going on. It's a lot of fire support stuff in there. Um, and I really could care less about that. Um, Unless we got something generic that sous ships could use. Um, I know there's going to be like a new what you call it speed duel box, which I'm actually kind of like somewhat excited for because um, not that I'm playing speed duels, but I like looking at those products because they reprint a lot of really cool and cool older interesting cards, and then there's some cards that just haven't been reprinted that get thrown into those. So I think those sets are just like the speed duel procs are like a good thing for Yu-Gi-Oh. I personally like the sets, um, especially since we had our reprints of what you call it, like Legendary Fisherman 2 have like exclusively come from speed duels. The old print we had was a super from a it was the first what you call it, Legendary Duelist set, and then it got an ultra rare in one of the speed duel the speed duel actual sets because speed duels were actually getting like, actual booster sets at one point instead of like the boxes we get now. So I think those are really good for not for a for different reasons. And, in February we're getting I think it's like February 16th we're getting the first core set of the year, which I'm like okay about, I guess. I don't know, I feel like the first two core sets we were getting like nothing. The only thing that like fully interests me is the new Melodious support, and I feel like for like as far as like new releases go, like new cards, like the generic staple stuff, that's great and all, that's always good. I get a little excited for, but the things that usually get me the most are like the really cool like tech cards and stuff that nobody really talks about. If we get some really cool water stuff, I get happy. I get kind of excited about that. But like when I saw that we were getting Melodious support, I feel like I haven't been excited like that for years because I absolutely love Melodious. Like Dolphy, you remember me in college when in college, right? How like before the links hit, like that was my deck.
Yeah.
Like that and Aqua Ashes were my two decks. So seeing this deck finally get like legitimate support because like they've gotten Soul Fusion. They got that one card that was an import.
Ostinato.
Yeah, and I was so pissed off because the OCG has had that card for like 5+ years.
The OCG had the card for 5 years. The card came out in a common. It's not searchable at all.
But no, but what made it even worse was that card was designed pre-links. Links were not in mind when that card was made, and then links came out, and we got the card, and that card was not that. That card literally got fucking shafted because if you guys aren't familiar, basically what it does is it basically fusion summons a monster or a melodious monster from your extra deck using materials from your deck, basically. So it's kind of like an unexpected die, but for melodious fusion monsters. But Blink era, your shit's got to go to the extra monster zone. So unless you're trying to make a bigger fusion, you're kind of fucked. But during the end phase, that fusion monster, basically goes to the grave, and the fusion materials used to make it get special summons to the field. So basically, the whole point was basically you would send Arya and LG to make the one Melodious Maestro we had, Saberta, and then basically end phase, those two get summoned, and then you create the Melodious lock. But the problem was when Lynx came out, we finally got that card. You basically kind of had to use that. You basically use that card, and then it's like you really couldn't do anything else because as far as using that fusion monster for something, because if you did, you basically couldn't get the lock off. So I just felt like that card came out way too freaking late, and the game basically had evolved to the point where it was like this was supposed to be good, but it wasn't. And then we finally went into the current master rule, and that card is that card's playable now. Like it's actually really fucking good. Then we got the Link 2, which is really good, it's pretty good. And then trying to think, I feel like it was Maze of Memories. We got like a card that was a rare that basically worked. It was basically for like it was basically meant to be used with Melodious, Luna Lights, and then like another archetype from Arc V, basically. It was just kind of like a generic card for I think maybe it was like Gem Knights or something. I don't remember. Um,
Patchwork.
huh?
Was it Patchwork?
Is it what?
Wasn't Patchwork the one that got released next to Ostinato?
Yeah, I think so.
Without exaggeration, that deck would have been viable in Zoo format, if they had Patchwork. And I can prove it.
All right.
The fusion spell, Fright for Sheep, they
Yeah.
cannot out it.
Wait,
Like,
what?
they can't out it. Any of the Zodiac main deck cards cannot out the fusion monster Fright for Sheep.
Oh shit.
If it's destroyed, it breaks itself back once, and if they attack into it with like Whiptail or whatever it is, they can't banish it because of its effect.
Oh
So
damn. So literally, Frankfurt Patchwork was the only reason why That deck was not meta at the
Okay,
time.
I guess saying it's the only reason is kind of a stretch, but like that, the shot that deck had to being at least a viable deck was that format, in my opinion.
Damn. But yeah, um, like that's like being honest. The only support's like the one of probably like the biggest thing I'm looking forward to. Um, and I know I really haven't done much melodious content on this channel because I feel like honestly before I started this channel, I feel like I've already kind of exhausted what melodious could really do.
Melodious is a one-trick pony for the most part. Every single time you play Melodious, it goes back to the Aria Elegy lock at the end of the day.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it had two other. I mean, you had that. You had was it Prima. That's one of the. There's a Melodious Master monster that basically can attack twice. Um, and then you had the boss monster, Diva, which like
It was
was an
great for the time.
absolute pain in the ass, huh?
It was great for the time.
Yeah, I mean back then we didn't have kaiju's, so and then kaiju's came out, and then a lot of people at CF kind of started kaijuing me. And I was like, well, this sucks.
I remember I was
But
playing
like,
against it with Cubics, and the Cubic boss monster and it specifically do not interact very well. So you just sit there and do nothing the entire time while you wait to draw the out.
yep.
And by that I
But
mean
yeah,
burning for 6,000.
yeah, that was Devo was not a fun time for a lot of people. But one of the things I find a bit crazy is I feel like the new support really pushes to play pure. Like, and I feel like it's like like one when I read the card, I think it was like one or two in particular, like really kind of pushes it, and I'm just like, all right, okay. Which I'm saying I don't think that's a bad thing. Um, I feel like maybe if this is the case, if they haven't revealed all the Malaise cards, if we could get like one or two more kind of like extra deck options, like as far like they're like fusions obviously because the deck wants to, it's a fusion deck. But I feel like maybe if we got like maybe like one or two more like maybe like one more option because like when I look at the deck, I feel like it's mostly like you have access to the LG and Aria lock. Um, I can't remember what the Link 2 does. I can't remember now. It's been quite some time since I played it, since I messed with it with Melodious. Um, but you basically have Shaberta, which can banish stuff from the grave, banish stuff from your opponent's grave, so that can like fuck with some decks. You have Prima with I think it's Prima, which is basically like taxed twice and is meant to be the OTK machine, which I feel like the new support kind of helps with that. So like they have an easier time OTKing. And then you had basically Diva, which is like the boss monster that just kind of sits there and out stuff to an extent. I forget what the new fusion does. I think the new fusion like pops a card or something like that, but like they don't actually have an in archetype negate. Like that's something I feel like the deck is still missing. Like it's moving away from being this one trick pony to more being like this um kind of like being somewhat of like a jack of all trades, but I feel like it's missing like I still feel like it's missing one thing, I'm not particularly complaining. I'm happy it's getting support, but I still just kind of feel like okay, maybe we are still missing like something, a little bit, you know. But hey, maybe it's me just sounding greedy. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the decks that we like are getting support suddenly, and it's one of those things where it's very clearly too little, too late. Yu-Gi-Oh's always had like a weird gap between its new cards and the good cards, but now it's really, really, really wide.
Yeah,
Like without exaggeration, we have the best decks in the game's history, hands down. With the decks we have, tier limit and cashier, those fight tier zero decks from any other format without exaggeration. There are no tier zero decks in their base form that could compete with a bit like the original tier limit strategy.
yeah.
So they're introducing all these cards and that are great, but suddenly being great isn't good in Yu-Gi-Oh. You're just okay. And that's the problem, is that like they're printing so many good things that they're legit watering down.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it's looking back to the Gate Guardian support.
It is unfair how good a support they got.
I mean, if like I'm just being honest, and I know we're still getting two cards for that. Like they announced two cards a while ago. Um, that is literally some of the best support I've just ever seen.
I wish they had retrained the pieces. I think that's like my only complaint with it is that they just didn't retrain them. If they had
I
retrained
mean,
them, I would have zero complaints.
they are you saying reprint or retrain?
Retrain.
I mean, if you want me to be honest, I'm kind of happy they didn't retrain the pieces because they did. I feel like it would basically fall into the same category as Magnet Warriors because the whole thing is when they did the Magnet War, they did the support for the Magnet Warriors. They basically, I guess you could say they didn't really retrain the original Magnet Warriors. They more or less like replaced them and then basically made it to where the deck could just drop Valkyrion from the deck, and it's just like now it's kind of like okay. Or when you look at like they got like a few I think they've gotten like I think a few cards after that. I want to say it was like two cards after that structure deck.
I do know for a while the playing at least one of each vanilla was essential.
Yeah, like
Um,
at one point you played one of the like one of the original each of the original three, but it got to the point for that strategy where or for that deck where they didn't do it anymore. Like they just straight up cut them out and they just played the one Valkyrion because they could just drop it out of the deck for free.
yeah, after they got Delta.
And I feel like if they did that with I feel like if they retrained the pieces, the deck would fall into that category. Which something else I want to point out real quick, I think it's hilarious. Um, the deck doesn't even play the original Gate Guardian. I'm throwing that out there. I think it's funny.
It's hilarious because you could make him into a free float, but it's
I mean,
just not
yeah,
worth it.
but it's like, why would you? But it's like, why would you play that one of that? That's a brick if just to float into when you can just float into any of the smaller
But like
pieces.
this is what Gate Guardian should have been from the start. Is a fusion
Yeah,
monster. He is a fusion monster. It's literally three things clicked together.
really,
He is a fusion monster.
I mean, I'm happy that they made the new Gate Guardian like the actual Gate Guardian monsters, fusion monsters. I'm happy as hell about that. Like, I think it's awesome,
Like
especially like the new one, like the actual like big one. That's all three. The fact that he can actually just like the fact that he basically contact fuses like ABC Buster Dragon. You can basically banish all three pieces from the grave to make that fucker is insane.
you know what?
Like,
You know what I want need support now.
But
The Masked Beast.
you mean the really old ritual?
Yes, I want that to get support next.
Why?
Because if a shitty card like Guardian can get support, then the strongest vanilla ritual monster can get support.
I mean, it's because Gate Guardian's actually an iconic card from the anime.
So is this. Merrick used it. Those weird mask guys used it.
No fucking way. They didn't use. No, they did not use it.
Let me see. They used a mask something.
They used like a three-headed masked monster. I don't even think Merrick did. Merrick use? Okay, you know what? As much as I watched the original Yu-Gi-Oh, I am so fucking disappointed right now that I can't remember if Merrick actually used it. I don't remember Merrick using that card.
I think what happened exactly was that what I remember him pulling it out for like a deck check, and that's it. I don't remember if he actually summoned it.
I mean, I'm just saying. I watched the original Yu-Gi-Oh at least 5 times while I was at CF, thanks to a particular person we know. And I don't remember Merrick ever playing that card.
I really wish he had stopped playing it so much. I hated it because he played so much. He ruined it for me.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was happy when when I said someone was like, like, dude, like, this is all you really ever want to do. Let's do something different. Because it's like I told him, like, dude, we've watched through this, I think 5 or 6 times through now. Like, I love it, but it's too much. And then like the next time I went over, it was Yu-Gi-Oh GX. Like, oh, okay, you know what? It's not the same thing. I'm happy.
Alrighty.
And like
so
it was kind of like I'm not gonna lie. Like I can't. Like I, aside from when it was airing on TV, I never actually went back to watch GX. Like, so this was like I think the first time I legitimately like went back and actually watched it. You know.
Alrighty, so the ritual, the Masked Beast, specifically, because there are 2 Masked Beasts. The ritual was featured in episode 71. Umber used this card in his tag duel with Loomis against Yamayugi and Seto. And...
Oh, so wait, was it the 2 like masked dudes who used it then?
yes.
Okay, I was gonna say like I know damn well Merrick didn't use that.
I swear to God, if I remember correctly, he just picked it up and used it for like... You remember when they cut the deck to see like which one's stronger, so you go first?
Yeah.
I'm fully confident he only used it for the deck cut. If I remember correctly, I swear it was blue.
Something else I want to point out that was funny. You remember Arcana, the guy who basically the masked magician dude that Yugi fought, who basically made like a red version of Dark Magician.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that fucker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta point this out. That motherfucker had the Egyptian gods in his deck.
What?
If you watch the episode, at one point when it shows his hand, you can see one of the Egyptian gods in his hand. And he basically, I forget what card he played, but he basically had to discard cards from his hand, and he discarded a freaking god card. I'm not
No wonder
making
he
this
lost.
up.
He couldn't summon it.
I'm just being honest. I'm not making this shit up. I remember rewatching that episode, and I remember pointing that shit out because at the time, back in the old original Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of times animators would animate random ass cards in Duelist hand. Like, if you actually if they did a shot where you could actually see the cards in their hand, and if basically they had, if they had like a card of 5 hands, I'm sorry, oh my god,
Hand
wow,
of 5,
card of 5 hands. If they had a hand of like 5 cards, if they only had like 1 or 2 that was relevant to like that turn and shit, they would literally draw like 3 other random ass cards and put them in their hand. and there was a big issue with consistency of what cards were in their fucking hands. Like if you actually decide to go back and watch original Yu-Gi-Oh, pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, it's because
Because
whenever they would
you'll
censor
see all
stuff,
types of shit.
whenever they would censor
Huh?
stuff and bring it to the U.S., I'm pretty sure they would just cover things with whatever they could.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that like they would have some really random ass shit. Like I know there's also people who legitimately like actually fight over like, oh, this character had this card in their deck. So if you're doing character decks, that means you can use like people are literally like I've seen people literally fight over that shit. It's crazy. I miss the character deck stuff.
What's the
That was
scene where
fun.
like they're in a weird tower that goes up towards the end and they're dealing with Merrick?
Oh yeah, it was Merrick, Yugi, Kaiba, and Joey. I think it was like right before they fought on the blimp.
That's the scene I'm thinking of, and I cannot find it.
Okay.
It's Battle
I was gonna
City.
say yeah, one of the good arcs. I'm not gonna lie, I still think y'all can fight me over this. I still think the Waking the Dragons arc was hands down like my like well, it was my favorite arc. I think it was probably like the best arc, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna get mad and fight me over that. Considering that arc was literally entirely filler, I don't care. I fucking loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was the coolest as a kid. I still enjoy that arc. I don't care.
It's good filler because it at least filled the holes that they assembled by accident.
I mean, it was just really good. Like it kind of
Oh shit. 1 second. I don't even think he notices I accidentally hung up on him. Sorry for the mission, guys. I'm probably not even gonna edit this out, so. Hello? You there?
yo yo. What happened?
Oh, there was this magical thing called my website browser crashing, so we're gonna go with that.
Okay, that was interesting. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the Waking of the Dragons arc. Um, so melodious support. Let's fucking go. I'm not gonna lie. I would love it if we got Penguin support. I know we got Penguin support a few years ago, but they left some really big gaps in there because we didn't get all the Penguin monsters from Penguin Brave, the Synchro monster.
Yeah, there's
We're still
guaranteed 2 cards coming, or they're just being stupid. One or the other.
I mean, there's at least two monsters that we are. I think it's two. There's two monsters that we are missing off that card. I'm pretty sure. And I'm just gonna say it. We need more Cloudian support.
Yes, we do.
We need more Cloudian support and Aqua support. We need that too. I'd love for some Aqua support, but I'd also really, really love for some Cloudian support because look, Cloudian Aerosol was good, and it's a great card. Don't get me wrong. Amazing support for that deck, okay? But the deck needs more than just that.
You give it 1 card and you call it a day. That's Konami's philosophy.
No, we need more. We need more than that. Just we freaking need more. Give me more of a reason to go to locals, because I'm not gonna lie, that future prize support is not looking super promising, or something I'd want for a while. Not until at least February, till we get the next core set. I'm just saying, and can't remember if it's the first or second core set we're getting that actually has the Melodious support in it. So like, yeah, I don't feel like going to locals every day and every week and playing nothing but
Okay,
mostly probably Fire Kings and Vanquished Souls.
so I know we were talking about the Masked Beast randomly. I have an answer, and it's a lot more
Okay.
different than I was expecting. It was not the Masked Beast ritual monster. It was Masked Beast Desgardius, which was specifically not by Yami Merrick, but Kaiba.
Wait, did he actually summon that thing?
No! They did a deck cut, and he revealed Masked Beast Desgardius.
Huh. It's funny because I remember I remember there was the Scholastic Book Fairs.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple Yu-Gi-Oh books in there, and then one of them was like
Oh,
one of
wow.
them was like a
Merrick,
huh.
Merrick does use that card as well. Does everybody have the fucking Masked Beast Desgardius?
Well, I was gonna say it was, I forget what it was, a book where it was like, here's like two sentences on this character and here's a couple monsters they played type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm pretty sure for that card it was the two dudes we talked about that played the mass beast that we talked about. I'm pretty sure they specifically said that those guys used that card as well.
Yeah, and Duel Links, they use Masked Beast Desgardius. It has a summon animation and everything, so I know they use it. But Merrick and Kaiba both own it.
I mean, Kaiba kind of owns like every card,
Well, like, it's in his
just
deck,
saying.
but I don't know if he can summon it.
I don't know, but Mister Big Dick Dragon Ego over there.
He probably
Ego
discards it
so
for something.
huh?
He probably just uses it for trading. It's fine.
I mean, I'm just saying, with his big ass briefcase, like that fucker had like every card. We he never used every card, but we know damn well he had every card.
Just shows up,
Uh,
puts it on the table, calls it a day.
Kaiba had such an ego that couldn't all be contained in Kaiba Tower. I don't think there was ever a building he had that could contain his ego.
I mean, he was the only man capable of stopping a gun with a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah,
You know they made that into a card.
really.
So, the card he threw in particular was called Gyakutano Megami, which is a level 6 vanilla fairy. They turned that into a card. I forget the name of it. It's a level 6. If you control no cards in your hand or your field, you use it, destroy your opponent's whole board, and then summon a monster.
Oh, it's the weird like hand trap thing
Yes, that is the.
from
Because Kaiba has no
from.
cards in his hand or cards in his field, he stops the attack and just.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know which card you're talking about now. Yeah, that thing was the like the really weird like hand trap from Legendary Collection Kaiba.
Yes.
So wait, that's what that card was a reference to?
Yes!
I feel so dumb because I just kind of looked at this and was like, wow, this is one of those. This is not so great. You only like you need to purposely put yourself in that losing position to
It is
ever get
the
this off.
goddess of sweet revenge. If you have no, well, you control no cards, and this card is the only card in your hand, and your opponent's monster declares an attack, Discard this card, destroy as many cards as possible in your opponent controls, and then special summon one monster from your deck. Just congrats, you're losing. You can block a gun.
You know what? I want to be one. I want to be that guy. I actually want to play this just to see if I'll ever get it off.
Um, what's that one deck that sucks?
I don't know.
All of
A
them,
lot of
or
decks.
all of them? Yeah. Well, there's a.
That's like 70% of the decks that exist.
I mean, technically you could play this in Inferno. They barely keep their shit on the field, anyways. During like grass format, I'm not even joking. During grass format, they use the card Spiritual Soldier Revealing Light because if it's in the grave, you can banish it and you take no battle damage from direct attacks. Because they would clearly they would remove their own cards from their board so often that it was a smart strategy to run battle protection during Zodiac format.
I remember that card. I remember that.
It was so viable that Billy Brake is the one who like debuted it.
Oh man.
That is how often they kept their board clear. That's the reason I stopped playing the deck. It's because they don't leave a board. Everything they have removes itself.
Sounds like a fun time.
It was a fun time when you were winning. When you were not winning, it's a bit of a different story.
Oh man.
Inferno is one of those decks where you either lose very aggressively or you barely skim a win.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. They need to make not Gate Guardian specifically, but they need to make support that's as good as like the Gate Guardian support, but for other decks, they're gonna do like more legacy stuff. Because you know me, like I think I said earlier in this podcast, you know, I don't like I'm not really looking all that forward to a lot of like the newer stuff coming out. Because you know we got Yugioh getting support, which is cool. I don't play Yugioh, but I like seeing old stuff like that get support. There's that new archetype that's got like retrains of freaking like it was like the I'm trying to think the girl from like the Stobek card. She was never printed as a monster, or as like a monster card, but like she's getting retrained as a monster. Marshmallow's getting retrained. Gadgets are getting like the gadget monsters are getting retrained as a card for like that archetype.
Again,
It's like a new archetype that's like a retrain of old Yugi monsters and you know some stuff. There's like one that's a retrain of like Sapphira, the Queen of Dragons, which is one of like my favorite ritual cards. If you remember when I played Cyber Angels for the time,
I believe they made her less sexy.
I don't know.
There's a reason I'm saying it like this. First, how do you spell her name? I'm looking her up.
Saffira.
Here we go. I remember because, like, in the other one, it was, like, one of those cards that Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems to love having where it's an overly curvy dragon woman.
Mm.
But in the new ritual, they're, like... They put clothes on the dragon. There's also a regular version that's also just a person with wings. But, like, they put clothes on the dragon, Casey.
Are you bothered by that?
I don't know if I'm bothered by it. That's the problem.
I mean, I know you're bothered by Insect Queen.
Just, why did they give her tits?
Okay, so what's your thoughts on Insect Princess?
Well, at least she's, like, humanoid.
But here's the question, would you smash?
No.
Are you sure?
Also, look at Metamorphosed Insect Queen. She also has tits. Why did they give them tits?
Because they want you to smash.
You know who else has tits that no one notices?
What?
Zodiac Trident.
I don't play zoos. I don't like zoos, so of
I've
course
had
I
to
would.
point it out to people mid duel that she's a woman because her tits are huge. And they're just covered up so you can't see them.
I like how I still think it's funny how this like literally went from like Sapphire to this.
Listen, man, everyone knows one of the most important details in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is breasts.
But like I'm just saying, like, I think it's awesome that we're seeing, these older, cards get retrained specifically for a new archetype, but that's cool. I mean, then there's like the Memento archetype we just got. I was like, that's cool how they took a bunch of old vanillas that weren't that great, made them this cool archetype. I'm like, this is awesome, but I'm never gonna play this. Like, I like seeing this stuff, but I'm just like, a lot of it, I'm just like,
Didn't they
I don't
retrain
want
Gold
to pick it up,
Sarcophagus?
huh?
Didn't they retrain Gold Sarcophagus? Gold
I think
Sarcophagus?
so. I think they did like I, I, I think it wasn't like, I don't know, like they did a new sarcophagus. When they did the horror support, they did like a new sarcophagus card. But
Okay, here it is. Gold Sarcophagus Elite. And other
oh wait,
cards.
is it for the new archetype I was talking about that had like Sapphira and shit in it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's all very vague. But it searches
I
Gold Sarcophagus. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Gandora Dragon of Destruction, Marshimalon, Tricolor Gadgets, Silent
yeah
Magician Zero.
yeah it's that archetype I was talking about. Like
That's
I
what it
think it's
is.
cool. I think the archetype's cool. It's just I would not play it. Like I'm not that interested. Like I really would have rather seen Gadgets get a brand new card to help them. I would have rather seen a retrain of Sapphira that would have been a really good generic ritual. I would have rather so many other things.
Didn't she get a
If they
retrain?
did like a if they did a retrain of Marshmallow that could basically, I don't know, maybe work in tandem with Marshmallow or what you call, like the marsh macaroon thing, like to where there could have been like some really weird cool like marshmallow engine that would have been cool. Like
Sapphira has a new virtual monster.
what has it, what has
Sapphira has a new virtual monster. It's a level 7.
yeah, I said that earlier.
Oh,
She's basically coming out as I think it's like she's going to be in like the second wave. I think she's like the second wave of support for that archetype or something like that.
and
Like
her retrain is specifically the human version of her, I guess.
I'm just saying, like they're like it's cool they're doing this stuff. It's just they're doing it in a way that I kind of don't care to put. Like I don't like. I'm happy they're doing it, but I don't want to pick this up and play it. Like
It's nice to
I
look
would have
at, not nice to
rather.
have.
I mean, yeah, it's just I would have rather. I would have just rather them actually, retrained where they supported, whatever they're, rather than, oh, let's make a new archetype that's just a retrain of old monsters. Like I mean, the memento thing was cool, but like right after they're doing that with Yugi's monsters. I'm just like, why? Like,
All those dinosaur support cards that were basically retrains of old dinosaurs.
yeah.
Those were really
I mean,
cool.
that's the thing. They're dinosaurs, and they work generically to be done. Like a dinosaurs. You get what I'm saying here.
Hmm.
Like at least when they did that with the dinos, like the random vanillas they made dinos, old vanillas they retrained as dino support. They supported dinos. Like that's the key difference here. Like it was still dino support. It supported dinos. Dinos had more options. Awesome. I think that's cool. I liked that. But it's like, oh yeah, let's just take like these like five, cards Yugi had. Oh, new archetype. Bam.
Boom.
Like, okay, but why? why? So that's kind of like why, as far as like what's coming out, I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I'm feeling really iffy about like I'm personally not that interested as much in a lot of the new stuff we're really getting, and to be honest, like I wasn't really when the Duelist Nexus came out, when they basically dropped Starlights and did the whole quarter century rare stuff. I feel like the core sets really just have not been all that interesting. Like,
There's also an issue
I,
going on with Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Well, there's a lot of fucking cards, right? Like, there's a
yeah,
lot of fucking cards. But part of the problem with that is that it's starting to feed into itself, where they retrain old stuff to make old stuff good, which is great. The problem is, though, is there's so many things that either need reboots, retrains, or just support in general, that they just aren't doing it. Like, it's taken almost 2 decades just to get generic, like, good Pyro cards.
yeah, and I want to say this. I think the Chimera support we got was cool, but I also didn't kind of like the fact that they made it so based with illusion, the illusion subtype, the new illusion typing.
Like, it came out at the
I
start swinging, it was just weird.
huh?
Like, it had a good start, it was just weird.
Yeah, I I think I think the whole Chimera, the whole like the old like Chimera thing was weird because initially it was like Berfama and Gazelle made Chimera, and then later they did like the weird like Phantom Beast thing where like it was they were like actual beast monsters. Um, didn't really do a whole like in GX. They got like a couple of them in GX. They were like promos. They basically made Gazelle, Burt, and like Berkmut and Chimera like part of that little archetype, and then we get new Chimera stuff, and it's like it's not really part of that archetype. It kind of does its own thing with illusions or the illusionist sub type. And I'm just like, oh, this is just it's so weird. I still feel very mixed about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be entirely honest. Like I feel mixed.
Yu-Gi-Oh has this
I,
thing where they have all the attributes and subtypes, and they want to keep loyal to the concept. But the problem is, it's like, again, there's just too much for Yu-Gi-Oh to do. Like,
yeah.
are there any good water OTK decks?
Um, off the top of my head, like as far as like straight, oh, we are going to OTK. Can't really think of anything. I mean, the only like like actual like top tier stuff. I mean, you have like Fish OTK. That was a long time ago though.
Yeah, like
Like
water and stuff like that is typically seen as like a defensive attribute and stuff like that. But Yu-Gi-Oh tried to have that when it started, and it just doesn't have that anymore because every deck does the same thing.
yeah,
Like, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's like this thing right now where it's feeding its own problems because there's so many fucking cards. And each
I mean,
card's got to be better. It's got to sell. So I think we've kind of hit a climax. What is going to be the breaking point is basically where I think it is.
yeah,
Like, we've been going for 2 decades. Most things can't even, like, most anything doesn't last 2 decades. So,
yeah,
I'll give Kazuka Takahashi and Konami a lot of credit. Even if Yu-Gi-Oh somehow dies like tomorrow, they did a lot more with this game than a lot of other people could have done.
yeah. And even looking at like Pokemon, you know, gonna point this out. You know, they kind of I think it was like I think it was like Gen 2. I think like how to say this. like the first few, like the first like few generation, like up to generation 4, like they did some like weird stuff each, thing, to the point where if you play expanded, you can't use anything from Gen 4 and back. You have to start with like black and white and up,
Mm-hmm.
because of how
Different.
like how yeah, just like how different. Because like the thing is, Gen 4 is like the biggest one that's easy to point out. They threw levels on the card for some reason, on the cards for some reason,
Yeah, I
like the
remember
Pokemon.
that.
So it's just like it was something they did in that one gen and got rid of it. And then I remember like Gen 3 had like EX, but it was like lowercase EX, not like the EX of like black and white and stuff. It was a different EX.
It was X and not EX.
Yeah, like they've done some weird stuff. To the point where like it's like they kind of it's like they would kind of keep retconning it, and then each generation, obviously Pokemon got like once we got to like I think like Gen 2 or 3, like Pokemon in general got more HP. Like,
Yeah, HP bloat has
real.
been an issue. I noticed that.
Well, I mean, Pokemon got a bit more HP, and then like their damage output also got better. I'm not like obviously we still get Pokemon that do like 10 or 28, 10 or 20 points of damage, but I'm just saying like our stage 3 Pokemon are doing like 80, or triple, Pokemon that, I'm sorry, stage 2 technically, but Pokemon that evolve, multiple times, so they have three, parts of the line. I mean, they're doing like, you know, 80 plus damage at least. And, back in the day, it's like, I think it was like Blastoise and Charizard maybe did like 60, I want to say. Like, I'm just saying, like, the damage output and such is just so much different from early Pokemon days. Um, so Pokemon has gone on so long, but they've retconned themselves so much. And at this point, we're at a point where it's like, okay, we have expanded, which goes from black and white up to
But like, why would you
today.
touch the cards also?
Huh?
But it's also like, why would you touch half of this anyways?
Yeah, but the thing I'm saying is, if we look at the expanded format, from black and white up to now, like that's been going on for probably like 15 years. Because I think black and white came out in like 2009, 2008, 2008, 2009. You get, like, I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Um, and like since then they haven't done like a hard retcon type thing. So I'm like, and they wouldn't. I don't think they would at this point.
And meanwhile, Yu-Gi-Oh does that every few years.
I mean, still, like you get what you. I think you get what I'm trying to say here. Like, I'm not even gonna touch Magic because I don't even know. I don't play Magic. I don't know what the fuck to say about
um, I want to make jokes about them touching kids, but I'm gonna get yelled at later, so we're not doing that.
that. Yeah,
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh
but
issue too. Trust me. But
I know, Matt. But from what I'm told, like Magic now is nothing like Magic back then.
oh, dramatically no.
I mean, same thing.
I'm looking at these.
Same
Oh,
thing.
go ahead.
My bad.
You're good. Keep talking.
I was gonna say like same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. Back then, 2002, 2003, um, biggest like big brain play, like big meta play was I'm gonna normal summon 7-colored fish, and I'm going to set like 2 cards, and I'm gonna pass.
I said two and
That
not three, just in case you have heavy storm.
Yeah, like that. And that, like, that was the thing. Like, do I set 2? Like, do I want to set everything? Like, what if my opponent draws Heavy Storm? Like that was like the big. That I'm just saying, like those were actual like big plays back in the day. Now it's I'm going to spend 15 minutes doing a combo that's going to give me 7 or 8 negates. Can you break my board? No, okay. You want to go to game 2? Like, that's literally how it is at this time or at this point. Like, we're at a point where games literally are decided on die roll and, oh shit, I bricked. Can I draw one card that could be an out to this? Can I draw the card that's going to out my 8+ negate opponent's board?
Like, I'm gonna get some shit for this, but I liked Mystic Mine. I thought it was hilarious how Mystic Mine does what a lot of other decks do, just simpler. Like every deck with something like Floodgates, fucking Brandon had like the extra deck lock. They still do. They have an extra deck lock. Like 80 other fucking decks had an extra deck lock. Goki had a whole format where it blocked your extra deck and your extra monster zones and your special summoning. Mystic Mine does it once and everyone has a fucking problem.
I was gonna say, I remember when everybody was doing the Union Carrier extra deck lock.
Yes. Yeah, like it's the same shit. It's just everyone summons a floodgate and they get mad when the other person's floodgate exists.
Well, nice extra deck lock. I'm gonna kaiju.
When in doubt.
The amount of people I pissed off at Kirk's when that shit was going on.
You don't expect the kaiju, but when you get the kaiju, you get the kaiju.
I was playing ballpark. I fucking main decked kaijus, lightning storm. Like, that deck wanted to go second, and that deck wanted to OTK. I main decked, the kaiju package. I main decked lightning storm. When that shit came out, like, I'm just gonna say this. I'm still surprised. I managed to pull all 3 of my lightning storms when that set released.
That's
I
another thing.
remember.
Lightning Storm is literally just 2 cards that were banned.
Yeah.
It's literally just 2 cards that were banned.
Yep.
Oh,
I remember
Shut the fuck up. Trust me, it's better than that.
I remember pulling my first copy at the sneak peek event. Then a couple days later, when I got paid, I went and bought 2 blister packs from Walmart. Toby was there with me. He saw me pull my second one. We went back like a week later when they restocked. I bought 2 more. He saw me pull my third.
Lucky
he was
man.
pissed. Huh?
Said lucky man.
I mean, he was kind of mad because it's like every time we'd go, I'm over here pulling lightning storms or some sort of like secret or ultra that's worth money. He's over here getting fucking supers.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're getting all the secrets.
I mean, I remember at one point, like, he did not want to go to Walmart with me for a little bit.
I'd be upset too.
Like, we joked about it at one point for like a little bit. Toby, I want to go pull like $100 card. Let's go to Walmart.
No, fuck you.
No, I don't want to go. Why? I need this $100 card. Yeah, but I don't want to go and pull shit.
I wouldn't go with you either at that point.
I just thought it was funny. But yeah, like, I had my lightning storms. I basically had my evenlies in the X. I had my evenlies in the X or the side deck. I had my Denko Sekkas because like there was always. Yeah, I was about to say Denko Rekka. There was always one person who'd show up and like always play like stun. So I always just like. It was the one card that I always sided. I had in my side deck, and I was like, I never used every tournament, but I fucking kept that shit in because I'm like, I don't want I'm like outside of Lightning Storm. I'm like shit. I'm like I want to make sure if I get paired up against a back row deck, I'm ready. Um, and then I think it was like I sided Cosmic Cyclones. Like oh, and then when fucking what you call Zoo King, the fucking Zoo King Alpha thing came out. You bet your ass I fucking main deck that shit.
Really
I bought
ugly and
three.
OP.
Yeah, I bought three of them fuckers day one, and I main decked them, and I pissed people off because I would just go Kaiju, bounce back, Kaiju.
Re-give them the kaiju.
I'm literally like reusing my Kaijus, like people like I definitely pissed people off. Like I literally like hardcore. Like I am going second, and I'm ready to fucking break any board. Let's go,
That
motherfuckers.
was a really funny strategy in Pendulum Magician when that was for when it first came out for Electromite. You would use Fairy Tale Luna and add it back, give them Radiant, the Shadow Kaiju, because they most likely didn't have it. Just Kaiju, then bounce it back, and then re-Kaiju, and then Pendulum summon out your other Luna, and then bounce it back, and then if you need to, re-Kaiju.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Fairy Tale Luna has a quarter century print, and they're only like $2 or $3. I might pick me up a place of those.
I always loved Luna. I had some bias for her.
I I I I, I like Luna too. I've had way too much fun with that card back in the day.
What's interesting,
The
because I know we're talking about shit for 2024 and support. I hope shit gets cheaper.
huh?
I said, I hope shit gets cheaper.
I mean, even when she came
No,
out
no,
and
no.
she was
Like shit, not she, shit. Like just everything. I hope this stuff gets cheaper.
oh, I thought you said she, like you were referring to Luna.
I could have used better language there. I won't lie to you.
I was gonna say like Luna is already cheap. Like literally, the max rarity is 25th anniversary, and they are literally only a couple dollars.
Like I used to, dabble in competitive, but every time I'm like, maybe I could pick the game back up, I see the deck costs $1,000. I'm like, why would I do this to myself?
I mean, shit. I
But
mean, I'm gonna say it. I mean, crazy to think, but at one point, like for a little bit, that ballpark deck I had legitimately hit like a little over $1,000.
like, dude,
Because
when
I'm
when Infernoids and Grass and everything were out, I had like almost $1,000 deck. Don't get me wrong, but like that's still a lot of money, and I'm like on my own now, so that's just kind of unnecessary in hindsight.
yeah.
Like I could have
Uh,
bought a PS5 with that money. I did buy a PS5 with that money. I'm like, do I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh? No, I want to play Bloodborne.
well, I was gonna say real quick before I lose. I know somebody's thinking, how the hell did this dude have like $1,000 ballpark deck? I'm just gonna say every single thing I had in there was like max rarity,
You also
and
had
this was
Ancient
like,
Flea.
huh?
You also had the Big Flea.
I also had what?
Big Flea.
God darn it!
Remember the level 4 Flea with 1500 attack, which
Oh
allowed the
yeah,
Pokepole specifically to pop Sky Striker Ray?
yeah.
Synergy.
Those were like $30 at the time back at the time because they were strictly
I feel so bad for convincing you to buy those.
no, you didn't convince me about it. Did you?
Well, I told you about it, and you're like, dude, let's do it. And I'm like, wait, no. You bought them.
Dude, I mean, legitimately, like, I literally own a copy of like every level 4 fucking insect vanilla. Literally for like when the meta, like if the meta ever shifted, like I was ready for like Goki Pole Pops. Um, but like like literally at one point when B Troopers was like getting announced and stuff, like insect shit was getting bought out. Like I remember like Ulti Dune Dozers, like first editions were like at least $60. I think at one point they were at a high of like around I want to say like 80 to 100. Like I had a first edition ulti that I was using. Like, I had legitimately, my shit was basically max rarity, and I was over here like, just kind of surprised. It was like, because I bought this stuff when it was cheap because nobody was fucking with insects, and I liked giant ballpark because it basically fucked over Sky Strikers. So like I went heavy into that deck, and like I was getting OTS super Kumunguses and shit like secret rarity. I mean those were like I think those were pretty cheap. I think those were like $7 to $10 at one point. Um, but it's like the whole thing I'm trying to say is like all of my shit was like max rarity, because I was playing the Blackluster Soldier Link when it had no reprints, and that card was like ridiculously expensive. That card was I think around like $80 at one point, like 80 or 100, somewhere around there. And I just used that card as like a backup plan if I couldn't go into IP Masquerena and Abramax. Abramax, literally when I had Secret Rare print, those were I think those were like I think I picked mine up at like it was like $25 or something. Like I'm just saying, like no, I basically went max. I basically had max rarity on this deck, and because of buyouts on insect stuff, um, for like a few months, like that deck literally cost over $1,000. Um, And I was honestly very surprised at one point. It was just like I could say I legitimately had a $1,000+ deck. Felt really cool, but I don't know. Maybe I should try Ballpark again. Because it's been a little bit since I played with it. Because I know when we got the set that had like the ninjas and like the insect stuff in it. I think they were in the same set. I can't remember now. There was like a set where we got like a crap ton of like insect stuff. It was all like low rarity though. Like I started playing with Ballpark again for like a month or two. Um, but yeah, like I probably should fuck around with that again because I enjoyed it and I'd probably have some fun with it again. Oh man. Hopefully we can get some maybe something cool, something new and cool for insects to use. I mean, they got like a shit ton that set though, so
I mean, insects got their day in the sunlight. I don't. Aqua really hasn't, unless you count tier limits.
I mean, the thing that pisses me off with Aqua is the fact that we got tier elements and then we got to Tinstinas. They made them aquas, but they're not water, so automatically they kind of get fucked out like the best support. Excuse me. Really kind of pissed me off, and I'm still mad about that. I, I
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I'm just like if they're gonna make a new aqua archetype, they're not gonna make this shit water because think about like the last big aqua type archetype that came up before those was Sue ships, and those were fire, which I'm not complaining. I like Sue ships, and Sue ships isn't something that was like a meta deck, but we both know that deck got some attention because it was like one of the craziest things that they've came out with. It was a deck that basically was a pun on sushi and ship, and they were battleships made out of sushi. Like
It's funny.
that deck literally
It's
got
funny.
attention. Exactly, that deck got a shit ton of attention because of what the deck was.
You think people like Ojama because they're fun to play? They like Ojama because they look stupid.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I literally the big reason why I like Ojama is because they are ugly ass comic relief aliens in fucking speedos.
And
I
that's
saw Yu-Gi-Oh
hilarious.
GX. I saw Yu-Gi-Oh GX. They were fucking comic relief. They were funny as hell. That's basically the reason why I like Ojamas.
Do you know why I like
Not because
Cloudians?
of the fucking deck and what they do. No, literally just because of what the fuck they are.
They're literally just there to be annoying. Their entire gimmick is to annoy you, to annoy your opponent, and to annoy the audience.
Yep,
They got zero attack, but they'll lock your opponent's zones, so you both can't do anything and you just sit there being annoyed. Their entire gimmick is to be annoyed.
exactly. And it's fucking beautiful. I love it. I should play Ojamas to piss people off.
Step 1, lock 5 zones. Step 2, pass.
Okay, here's the thing. If I'm going to play Ojamas, I am going to be, I'm going to be like that little fucking annoying 5-year-old at locals that nobody wants to fucking play against.
Listen,
Everybody thinks he
Cashiera was
sucks at
modern day
Yu-Gi-Oh, okay?
Ojamas.
Don't even get me on that.
No,
I know what
Cashiera
you
was
mean.
modern day
No,
Ojamas. They zone locked, and they were just Ojama yellow in armor, okay?
motherfucker.
All I'm saying is that I'm right and
I
you're
know.
wrong.
I've seen the memes. I have seen the memes.
Ojama line
I
is
know.
actually a Rise Heart the entire time.
God darn it. All in all, I'm kind of somewhat looking forward to 2024 for Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know. I'm
I
gonna
guess
be
I wish it
honest.
luck.
I mean, there's like a few cool little things. I mean, like the ban list I think was great. It's a good start, but I feel like something really big kind of needs to happen for the set. Like, we need some big like set releases or something because
Again, I'm telling you, either lower the card price or we just ban 800 cards. There are
I
over
don't know.
10,000 cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! We can ban 800 cards and nobody will fucking care.
I mean,
Let's
I'm
ban
just gonna be
Ukazi. Abaki.
I'm
Um,
just gonna be honest. Ever since Duelist Nexus, the only card set I guess you could say I don't know. I think the only product like I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome is Rarity Collection. But at the same time, I also kind of didn't care as much about Rarity Collection as everyone because I'm one of those people where it's like I already have like almost all of these staples that are being reprinted in this. Like it's cool that they're getting all these rarity bumps and stuff, but it's like I'm not gonna actively go out to buy a playset of all of these, a playset of all these rarities and stuff of these cards,
you don't need them
So it's
after a
like,
while. If you have them, you have them.
yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just gonna say this. I still have my playset of the original print of Lightning Storm that I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I still have that playset. Lightning Storm has been at 2 for a little bit, and you want to know something? I don't give a shit. You want to know why? I have literally had these damn things on release. I have gotten so much fucking mileage out of this playset that I don't care to go get quarter century rares or whatever. Like I've gotten way more value than I probably should have
At the end
off
of the
of
day, it's
these.
just shiny, monkey brain
Yeah,
goes shiny. Like, you don't need max rarity on anything. They're all the same weight at the end of the day. They all do the same thing.
yeah.
It looks
Well,
cool, don't get me wrong. I like having hollow cards, but it's not needed.
yeah. I mean, like I said, there's like some of the like I would possibly consider picking up. Like I told you, like I wanted Core Century Ice Bears because like I've been using the fuck out of that, and I think it'd be cool. They're only a couple dollars a piece. I would like to get Quarter Century Rare Mud Dragon, but I honestly think the price point that it's at doesn't isn't worth it because it's not as strong as a super polite target as it once was. And I'm just, like we have Garuda now, and I feel like Garuda isn't seeing as much play as it did when it came out. And that card's fairly new. Like that card came out,
A year or two ago, yeah.
yeah, like last year. like, just saying, like, it hasn't entirely dropped off the face of the earth, but I feel like it also hasn't seen as much play as it did for a while when it came out. Um,
I mean, that's just Yu-Gi-Oh. Like something will be really great and just drop off the face of the fucking earth at random.
and then show up like 3 formats later. That's like, I think that's one of the things that the fact that I love about Yu-Gi-Oh is the fact that the most random ass fucking shit pops up for formats.
You know what?
Oh man, we made these we made the new core set. We made these 2 decks that are really good. They become meta relevant. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, now this card from like 15 fucking years ago that everybody said is ass is now meta and relevant because it stops the 2 best fucking decks of the format. I love this shit. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's one of the coolest things about Yu-Gi-Oh that you don't really see in other card games is the fact of the absolute fucking randomness with shit like that. I fucking love it.
I remember looking at Smoker into the Thief in Duel Links and thinking, I could use this, and then trying desperately to make it work, and it just could not. And then, like,
And then all of a
Infernoble.
sudden, Infernoble. And you know what's funny? You know how old that card is, dude?
Older than me.
Dude, that card's literally so old that it's legal in GOAT. That's OG. That's a OG era Yu-Gi-Oh card. That is literally like that got absolutely insane because of Infernoble Knights to the point where it caused that card to get fucking banned. I'm just saying,
You know what?
like,
Now that we're talking about this stuff, like this weird stuff, I'm going to tell you my controversial opinion.
okay,
I want them to ban access code.
why?
I fucking hate this card. Every single deck has the opportunity to just randomly fucking OTK. I hate Zeus, and I hate access code. I hate these fucking things. They ruin deck building. I hate them.
Okay,
You used to
so
have to
here's my
try to be an
question. Here,
OTK anywhere.
hold up. Here's my question to you. What was your thoughts on Boral Sword back when that card was big?
Same shit. It annoys me. Like, you're supposed to have to put effort into OTK. Like, every deck can just pop it out. So OTK decks don't even have a niche anymore, because there are no OTK decks, because they can just pop access code and call it a fucking day.
Okay, if you want me to, I want to say something real quick too on this. I feel at least back when Boral Sword was out, that was during the Link era. So it actually required. I feel like it actually required more for a lot of decks to make.
Well, you
I'm
just
just
slap
saying,
4 things together.
huh?
You just put 4 things together.
I'm just saying. I feel like at the time, not every deck could do it.
Like,
I
even
just
then,
want to throw it
Boral
out there.
Sword's max was like 7,000 by itself. Access code, you could just eat the board if you do it right.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Shit. You remember back when Boral Load and like Skull Dread Yugioh were like the biggest things in the Link era, like at the start, and then it was like halfway through gone.
No, I remember Firewall Pass?
Oh my god.
Remember, like, the moment Borload came out, the meme died because Borload Pass was technically an actual strategy.
Yeah.
Fucking sorry,
Damn, we're
Yugioh.
old. I
Yeah.
feel old.
I remember buying that stupid fucking starter deck and getting Deco Talkers and going, I hate this.
But hopefully, we actually get some good shit this year for Yu-Gi-Oh because I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying Pokemon more, expanded Pokemon format more than Yu-Gi-Oh right now, and I'm honestly considering making some Pokemon content because I'm just enjoying that more than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Alright, so I have my new controversial opinion. So for
Yeah,
the ban list, I want Konami to go on YGOPRODECK.com, DECK.com, go to the card database tab, hit top cards, and the entire first page, that entire page, just ban that. We'll be fine.
of course.
We'll be fine.
I mean, I probably will be fine as long as Toad doesn't get banned.
Oh, Toad's on here.
What?
Toad's on here.
He's on there?
Yep.
Well, we can't do that then.
And Bahamut Shark.
Can't do that.
And Mothman.
Why would you limit my power like that?
Because you're too powerful.
I'm not gonna lie, when Toad went to 1, that was a hard time. That was a very hard time. I was sad. And he eventually slowly peeled to 3, and I was so excited.
They're like,
And then
man, this
Ronan
would be too
Tony,
broken. They're like, oh wait, no one cares.
and then Sprite came around, and Ronan got banned.
To be fair, he was the problem card.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, at least we got what you call it? I can't think of the card right now. Substitute back.
That's the important part. Now you can Desfrago TK.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some stupid shit. I would do some stupid shit like that.
Listen, Casey, D3S Frog is where it's at, okay?
Uh, I need to get like some friend. I need to like find some. I need to figure out like some of the guys want to like just meet up and play, outside of locals. Because I would build some like I have a lot of like decks that like I kind of like pre-built like the Wikipedia app, and like I would definitely bring some of this stuff to go play over there for fun. Like, be way more enjoyable than going to locals at this point, honestly. Uh, this is sad. The fact that I'm like literally not even enjoying locals anymore, and it's like no, I'm actually playing like really good rogue decks, and I'm just not enjoying the game like right now.
I
It's
don't
kind of
know,
sad.
I quit a while ago. I'm Gold 30. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I really do. It's been a part of my life, and people are still playing. Like, even when Lynx came out, that was the biggest they've had their tournaments ever. And I thought the game was fucking dying. So, fuck all do I know.
Yeah, but um, don't want to keep all these people here forever. I know we plan on going longer on this one.
Yeah, we've been at it for an hour 40.
Yeah. Um. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this podcast here. This was a special podcast because this is the end of the year video. We wanted to kind of look at Yu-Gi-Oh for 2024, and we had some other fun stuff to talk about because nothing when we make this is set in stone. Like, we just kind of take an idea or concept and we just go with wherever it takes us. And these are meant to be like some fun thing, something fun for us to do, and we enjoy it. So fuck it, we're gonna make it. So thank you all so much for joining this special episode of the Pondcast. Dolphy, is there anything you want to say to them before we go?
Eat healthy while you can. It'll catch up to you.